As far as the future of managed accounts more generally, I can't say personalization enough. That's really the name of the game.
This is 401k Specialist Editor-in-Chief Brian Anderson, and this is the 401k Specialist Podcast. As retirement planning strives to become more personalized, plan sponsors are under increasing pressure to offer solutions that meet participants where they are, not just by age or balance, but by their full financial picture. With that in mind, one option that's getting a lot of attention in the past couple of years is workplace managed accounts, which go well beyond a one-size-fits-all investment lineup. To talk about how managed accounts are helping to shape retirement readiness for employees at every stage of life, I'm happy to be joined today by Lorianne Pannozzo, Head of Workplace Personalized Planning and Advice at Fidelity, which means she heads up the team responsible for Fidelity's Workplace Managed Accounts program. We'll dig into new Fidelity research on what participants actually value in managed accounts, why these solutions can boost confidence and reduce financial stress, how they're influencing savings behavior and outcomes, and what it all means for plan sponsors and advisors. Welcome to the 401k Specialist Podcast, Lorianne.
Very happy to be here. Nice to talk to you today.
Well, I'd like to start out by learning a little bit more about your role in leading the team responsible for Fidelity's Workplace Managed Accounts program. How are you spending your days at work?
Well, I think you introduced it really well. We spend our days really thinking about these personalized solutions that we're able to deliver to participants. So my team works on, creating the personalized strategies, experiences, and services that are available to our workplace managed account program participants. But, ultimately, our goal is to help participants have confidence in achieving their retirement goal and to help plan sponsors understand the outcomes that we're able to drive.
Okay. Well, you certainly seem to be working in a relative hotspot in the retirement industry these days. Interest in workplace managed accounts seems to have really increased tremendously in recent years. What's changed in the retirement landscape that's making them more relevant now?
Well, first, you are right. The industry itself has just seen really tremendous growth. I've been working in this space since 2017. And since then, we've seen over 70% growth in DC clients. So today, of the end of 2025, over 11,000 of Fidelity record kept clients, or about half of our DC sponsors, now offer a managed account. And what's driving this? I think there are a few factors at play. So one, just the definition of retirement, how people think about retirement, it continues to expand and it looks different for every person. So I think there's a growing need to recognize this for more personalized solutions like workplace managed accounts that they can recognize and adapt to a range of preferences and circumstances that are unique to each individual. So, there's that growing recognition that people need special solutions for them. And, second, in this world of rapidly growing technology in general, personalization is increasingly possible. And so people expect personalized experiences, not just in retirement planning, but in every facet of how they interact with services across many different dimensions. So combined with this growing recognition that retirement is unique, along with expectations that people have for personalized experiences, employers are recognizing this. Think about they themselves are retirement savers. And so there's a growing understanding that offering a range of retirement planning and investing solutions, everything from, self-selected retirement options to target date funds to managed accounts, is what yields the greatest results from a retirement readiness perspective across a wide range of participants in the employee base.
Right. Okay. Well, I think it is definitely very interesting that there are so many more data points available these days to help personalize retirement planning for people. So one of the things that sparked my interest in talking to you about workplace managed accounts is Fidelity's new thought leadership paper on the subject. What kind of insights was Fidelity looking to uncover with the survey that informed it?
Yeah. Well, before we jump into the insight, let me just level set on, what a workplace managed account is and why we then started asking more questions about it. So, as I mentioned, employers are looking to offer a variety of investment options to meet the unique needs of plan participants. So, this includes managed accounts, which provide ongoing discretionary investment management with a personalized strategy, and that's based on multiple factors about an individual, things like risk tolerance, outside financial assets, accumulated savings, and spousal assets. And it does this personalization for a fee. So, managed accounts are often positioned as most well suited for participants who are either in or nearing retirement, or for those that have complex financial situations. And this is because these audiences are more likely to have factors that have a larger impact on investment strategy. And at the same time, managed accounts are usually available to all participants in the plans that offer them. Uh, while that is very important, um, we also talk about performance being the key value of a managed account because the focus is on that investment part of the product. But a managed account is also it's a service. It creates a online experience, access to an advisor, ongoing education touch points, and all of these are personalized using the exact same information about individuals that we use to create an investment strategy. So we're not only personalizing the investment portion of the service, we're personalizing every touch point that the participant has to engage them to help advance them towards their retirement goals. And that's why we believe there's more to the story when it comes to measuring the value of the service. Investment performance is a very important piece, but just one piece of the puzzle. So, because of that, what we wanted to do in this paper was step back and highlight managed account participant perspectives on what's important to them, the intangible, emotional, and psychological benefits of the service. The paper then also identifies next steps that plan sponsors, their advisors, and their consultants can consider as they weigh whether or not to add a managed account to their offering, or to help prompt with individuals, those who already using the service, how they can take maximum advantage of the service. So the research itself is based on an early 2025 Fidelity survey of 2,305 participants enrolled in our proprietary managed account program, Personalized Planning and Advice.
Now, it seems like one of the key findings from the survey was that managed accounts help a solid majority of participants utilizing them to feel more confident in their financial well-being and also less stressed about their financial outlook for retirement. Can you elaborate on why managed accounts tend to spur these types of positive feelings?
Yes. Our survey found that the majority of the service users highly value confidence, results, convenience, and reassurance that the managed account provides to them. What we see is that the high engagement of managed account enrollees that really comes from these personalized experiences. These personalized experiences lead to emotional benefits, and emotional reassurance ultimately builds retirement confidence. We want people to not only achieve their retirement goals, but feel confident along the way. Specifically, we found that 83% of managed account users agree overall that the service drives confidence in financial well-being. 78% agreed with the statement that they feel less stressed about their financial outlook for retirement. And 82% feel that the managed account helps drive results. So all of those factors, results, less stress, and confidence along the way are all factors that we were able to uncover in the survey.
Right, right. Okay, and the paper identifies some next steps that plan sponsors, their advisors, and consultants may consider as they weigh whether to add workplace managed accounts to their lineups. Briefly, what are some of those next steps?
Yeah, so as plan sponsors, and again, along with their advisors and consultants, whether they weigh, whether or not to add a managed account as an option in their lineup, or how they can work with current participants to drive more value from the service. There are a couple of next steps that we would suggest that they consider. Okay, first, one, there are a number of different managed account providers out there, and every one of them has different features, different investment methodologies, and different services that they're able to provide. So DC plan decision makers should consider examining the full range of features a provider is able to offer when assessing the potential value add that the managed account can bring to their plan. So, first, assess the different offerings that are actually provided. Next is embracing the role a sponsor has in boosting communication and engagement. Again, it's this ongoing engagement that really creates the confidence. So plan sponsors need to understand that communications that come from them and the providers are really some of the most effective means of prompting participants to interact with their accounts. We saw this in our research, and this highlights the role that sponsors and providers can play in helping to improve participants' engagement and the overall experience. So helping really drive that communication and engagement. And third, ultimately, we're talking about all of this being part of a range of solutions in the plan. So retirement decision makers need to take into account the unique needs of the entire participant base. And as a result, no two plans are alike because all of those individuals in the plan could be different. Plan sponsors, advisors, and consultants, they can review the spectrum of value and the impact that managed accounts can provide whether determining if it can meet the needs of their participant base, both financially and emotionally.
Right. Well, that all makes a lot of sense. Now, the survey asked participants in workplace managed accounts what they value most about them. What did you find out, and are there differences in how younger workers, mid-career employees, and near retirees value managed accounts?
Yes. So, though nearly all of our survey respondents across all age groups and circumstances indicated they highly value workplace managed accounts, there were some cohorts that stood out as deriving particularly high value from specific features. This was the case for, you mentioned a few of them, married respondents, mid level employees, and younger respondents, to name a few here. And let me just go into each one of those in a little bit more detail. What we found was married and partnered respondents, they tended to value the holistic strategy features more notably than the unmarried participants. Now, it makes sense because this is chiefly due to the role that a partner's investable assets could play in a participant's overall investment approach. So a managed account can think about assets beyond the plan, including the spousal assets. And here we found that 67% of married respondents highly valued what we would call the ability to ensure I have a financial strategy that considers my partner's assets, right? Um, Moving on to mid-level employees, and I would define these employees as being a little further along in their careers, in the midst of accumulating more wealth compared to entry-level employees, and yet they may not have enough accumulated uh, in or outside the plan where they would feel confident seeking personalized investment options outside the workplace plans. So they're not necessarily feel they have enough to meet with a RIA or other financial advisor outside the plan. They tend to be underserved in that market today. So to that end, these respondents are notably more likely than entry level or senior level respondents to highly value features that provide personalization or flexibility. So some of the stats we found were 83% highly value what we say retirement account management based on my unique situation. That's versus 77% of other respondents. 82% of these mid-level employees highly valued the ability to receive an investment strategy based on my risk tolerance. That's versus 75% of other respondents. A couple more. 82% highly value the ability to update personal information. 86% said they highly value flexibility to make changes to an profile information as needs change. It's this concept that they need more personalization, they need more flexibility, and they're more likely to get it through this workplace managed account program. And then finally, we talked about younger participants. I think this was interesting. So respondents under the age of 35, they were more notably likely to place a high value on the personalized nature of their retirement planning capability, which is typically not available in the context of, say, a target date fund, where many of them may be either defaulted or uh, turned to uh, turn to enroll. In fact, 83% of respondents below the age of 35 said they highly valued the ability to plan for, say, early or late retirement. So being able to really add their personalized stamp to their planning process.
It's got to be great news that a lot of younger people are interested in taking this kind of a personalized approach as opposed to some of the target dates. Before we wrap things up, I'm wondering, how do you see managed accounts evolving over the next, say, maybe 5 years, especially with AI and more real-time data being so readily available?
I'll say the prospects of AI are very exciting. I mean, you can think about how they could potentially contribute to and advance the impact of personalization. I'd say, but there's still a lot to learn about AI and its long term potential. And at Fidelity, we're taking a really thoughtful and deliberate approach here. We're carefully assessing how AI can responsibly enhance the way we serve and engage our customers. So, particularly looking across experiences, interactions, and solutions to identify where it can add really meaningful value. In the meantime, we really believe the best source of information is the individual themselves. And that's why the engagement is so very important. As far as the future of managed accounts more generally, I can't say personalization enough. That's really the name of the game. And we're continuing to identify new ways to deepen the breadth and depth of the personalized planning and advice participant experience. So things like including their curated messaging that's focused on ongoing engagement, using the unique things that we understand about the individuals to really spur actions. We're looking at expanded advisor support, being able to interject the human where the human matters most. And we're building new capabilities that acknowledge participants' full financial picture. Again, expanding that aperture so that we can support them throughout retirement.
All right. Well, this has been very interesting. Lorianne Pannozzo, Head of Workplace Personalized Planning and Advice at Fidelity. Thanks so much for joining us today and sharing all these insights on the 401k Specialist podcast.
Great. Thank you.